Margaret is 68 years old. She lives in a ranch house outside Columbus, Ohio, the same house she and her husband raised 3 kids in. Every morning for the last 4 years, she has done the exact same thing. She wakes up, she pours a hot bowl of oatmeal, she sits at her kitchen table, and she takes her morning pills with a few sips of coffee while the oatmeal cools. It is a healthy breakfast. Her doctor told her to eat more fiber. Her doctor told her oatmeal was good for her heart. And Margaret, being a careful woman, did exactly what she was told. What nobody told Margaret is that the oatmeal, the coffee, and one of her most important prescriptions were fighting each other every single morning at that table. For 4 years, one of the 3 drugs she takes at breakfast was barely getting into her body at all. Her thyroid medication, the one that keeps her energy up, her heart rate steady, and her mind clear, was being swept out of her system by the very breakfast she thought was saving her life. And she had no idea. Her lab numbers kept drifting. Her doctor kept raising the dose, and the whole time the problem was not the medicine. The problem was the timing. If you take a daily prescription with breakfast, and that breakfast includes oatmeal, whole grain toast, bran cereal, or a high-fiber supplement, the next 20 minutes of this video may change something you have been doing wrong every morning for years. Because there is a specific window, a specific set of drugs, and a specific fix, and almost nobody over 60 has been told the details plainly. Your 15-minute appointment never had time. So we are going to take the time right now. Here is exactly what I am going to walk you through, one piece at a time. Number 1 is the 3 specific categories of common medication that dietary fiber can physically block from being absorbed, so you can check your own pill bottles this morning. Number 2 is the exact mechanism, in plain kitchen table language, of how a bowl of oatmeal traps a tablet before it ever reaches your bloodstream, including why coffee makes it worse for one drug in particular. Number 3 is the 60-minute rule, the single simplest timing change that separates the pill from the fiber and lets your medicine actually work the way your doctor intended. Number 4 is the way this exact problem fools your blood tests and can lead to your dose being raised for no reason, which is a trap that costs older adults real money and real health. And number 5 is the short, specific list of questions to bring to your next appointment, so your doctor can check whether this has already been happening to you. Stay with me, because the 4th one is the part that even careful patients miss. Let me tell you who I am and why I spend my days on exactly this kind of problem. I work in patient medication safety, focused on adults over 60 who take 1 or more daily prescriptions. My work is not the 15-minute visit. My work is the hour after the visit, the part where somebody actually reads the label, checks the interactions, and asks why the numbers are not adding up. I see the same quiet mistakes repeat across thousands of medicine cabinets, and the fiber and pill collision is one of the most common and one of the most fixable of them all. I am not your physician, and this is educational information, not medical advice for your specific case. But the mechanism I am about to show you is well documented, and once you see it, you will never take your pills the same way again. Let me take you back to Margaret's kitchen table, because her story is the pattern, and the pattern matters. Margaret was diagnosed with an underactive thyroid, what doctors call hypothyroidism, back in her early 60s. The National Institute of Diabetes and Digestive and Kidney Diseases part of the National Institutes of Health, describes hypothyroidism as a condition where the thyroid gland does not make enough thyroid hormone, and it is genuinely common in older women. The treatment is usually a daily tablet of levothyroxine, a synthetic version of the hormone her body was no longer making enough of. It is one of the most prescribed medications in the entire country. Margaret's pill was a small tablet, and she took it every morning with breakfast, exactly as she assumed she was supposed to. For the first year, things were fine. Then, slowly, the old symptoms crept back. She was tired in a way that sleep did not fix. She felt cold when the house was warm. Her thinking felt slower, foggier, like reading through a screen door. She gained a few pounds without changing anything. When she went back to her doctor, they ran her thyroid blood test, the one that measures a hormone called TSH, which is the signal the brain sends to tell the thyroid to work harder. Her number was too high, which meant her body was still starving for thyroid hormone. So the doctor did the logical thing. He raised her dose. For a little while she felt better. Then it drifted again, tired again, cold again, foggy again. Another blood test, another high number, another dose increase. Over 3 years, Margaret's levothyroxine dose was raised 3 separate times, and she was still not steady. She started to believe her thyroid was simply getting worse, that this was just what aging felt like, that she would spend the rest of her life chasing a number that would never settle. By the time the fiber question ever came up, Margaret was taking a dose far higher than a woman her size should have needed, and she was still symptomatic on some mornings and oddly jittery on others. She was borrowing energy from good days to survive bad days. She had stopped hosting Sunday dinners because she never knew how she would feel. She thought she was losing herself. Here is the part that matters for you. The reason I am telling you Margaret's story is not because Margaret is rare. It is because Margaret is ordinary. Millions of older adults take a thyroid pill, a mineral supplement, or another sensitive medication with a fiber-rich breakfast every single morning, and a real fraction of them are quietly underdosing themselves, not by taking too little medicine, but by eating the wrong thing at the wrong minute. And almost none of them have been told the mechanism. So let me show you the mechanism now, because once you see it, you cannot unsee it. Here is what nobody told Margaret, and here is the truth that changes everything. When you swallow a tablet, that pill does not go straight into your blood. It has to dissolve in your stomach and then get absorbed through the wall of your small intestine into your bloodstream. That absorption step is the whole ball game. If the drug does not cross that intestinal wall, it does not matter that you swallowed it. It passes straight through you and out the other end, unused. And certain drugs are very, very picky about that crossing. Levothyroxine, Margaret's thyroid pill, is one of the pickiest. A review in the journal Clinical Therapeutics looked at the factors that affect how levothyroxine is absorbed in the gut, and it pointed out something crucial. This drug has what is called a narrow therapeutic index. That means the gap between too little and too much is small, so even a modest change in how much gets absorbed can push you out of the healthy range and into symptoms. It is not a forgiving medication. It is a precise one, and precise things are easy to knock off balance. Now bring in the fiber. Dietary fiber, especially the soluble fiber in oats, is not just roughage. Rolled oats are rich in a soluble fiber called beta-glucan, and soluble fiber has a specific physical property. When it meets water in your stomach, it forms a thick, sticky gel. That gel is exactly why oatmeal is good for your cholesterol and your blood sugar. And I am not telling you to stop eating it. But that same gel does something to a tablet sitting in the same stomach. It surrounds it. It slows down how fast the stomach empties, and it can physically trap the drug molecules inside the gel, so that instead of reaching the intestinal wall and crossing into your blood, a portion of the dose gets carried along in the gel and passes out of your body unabsorbed. A systematic review published in the journal Pharmaceuticals in 2021 went through the interactions between levothyroxine and food and dietary supplements. It identified clinically meaningful interactions and gave recommendations for how to co-administer the drug safely. Another review, in the journal Best Practice and Research, Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism, back in 2009, confirmed that food and dietary fiber interfere with thyroxine absorption, right alongside certain drugs and gut disorders. This is not a fringe idea. This is established, documented pharmacology. Fiber and this particular pill do not belong in the same 20 minutes, and there is a second culprit at Margaret's table: coffee. There is research in the journal Thyroid from 2008 from the American Thyroid Association showing that coffee impairs the intestinal absorption of levothyroxine. In those case histories and studies, taking the thyroid pill with coffee actually raised people's TSH, that same signal that was climbing in Margaret's blood work, which tells you the body was getting less of the drug. So picture Margaret again: oatmeal gel on one side, coffee on the other, and one small, precise tablet caught in the middle. Every morning, her breakfast was quietly stealing a piece of her medicine. That is why her numbers kept drifting. That is why every dose increase worked for a few weeks and then faded. Her doctor was not wrong to raise the dose based on the blood test. The blood test was real. But the blood test was measuring a body that was only getting part of its medicine because the breakfast was eating the difference. The mechanism worked exactly the way the chemistry says it should. Margaret was not a mystery. Margaret was physics. So let me widen this out, because it is not only the thyroid pill, and it is not only Margaret. Let me give you 3 more people, because one of them is probably closer to you than you think. First, meet Harold. Harold is 71, a retired postal carrier from outside Pittsburgh, and Harold does not take a thyroid pill at all. Harold takes an iron supplement because his doctor found he was anemic, low on iron, which is common in older adults and leaves you weak and short of breath on the stairs. Harold, being health-conscious, eats a big bowl of bran cereal every morning, the kind that advertises how much fiber it has, and he takes his iron pill right on top of it. Here is Harold's problem. There is classic research on wheat bran and iron going back decades. Work published in the journal Scandinavian Journal of Gastroenterology showed that the inhibitory effect of bran on iron absorption is almost entirely explained by a compound in it called phytate, and when you remove the phytate, the blocking effect disappears. A later study in the Journal of Nutrition in 1992 confirmed that cereal fiber, phytate, and related compounds in bread inhibit iron absorption in humans, depending on their exact chemistry. So Harold's fiber-packed bran cereal is grabbing his iron the same way Margaret's oatmeal grabs her thyroid pill. He is taking the supplement faithfully. His levels are barely budging, and he cannot understand why. Harold is the case that shows this is not one strange drug. It is a category. Second, meet Dorothy. Dorothy is 76, from Sarasota, Florida, and Dorothy is the careful one, the one who does everything right, which is exactly why this fools her. Dorothy takes a thyroid pill like Margaret, but Dorothy does not eat oatmeal. Dorothy takes a fiber supplement, a spoonful of powder stirred into water, because a well-meaning relative told her it would help her stay regular. She takes it first thing in the morning, and she takes her pills with the same glass. Dorothy assumes that because it is a supplement and not a food, it is safe to combine. It is not. Soluble fiber is soluble fiber whether it comes from a bowl of oats or a scoop of powder. The same gel forms, the same trap closes. That systematic review in pharmaceuticals I mentioned specifically looked at dietary supplements, not just food, and found the interaction there too. Dorothy is the case that surprises people because she thought she was being extra healthy, and the extra healthy habit was the very thing dragging down her medicine. Third, meet Frank. Frank is 64, from Denver, still working part-time, and Frank represents the biggest group of all, the people who do not know which category they are in. Frank takes 2 prescriptions in the morning and a multivitamin, and he eats whatever is fast, which lately has been high-fiber toast and coffee, because he is trying to lose weight. Frank has never once thought about timing. He just throws it all down together on his way out the door. Frank does not have dramatic symptoms yet, but Frank is exactly the person whose next set of labs comes back a little off, and whose doctor starts adjusting doses, chasing a number that a 5-minute change at breakfast could have fixed. Frank is the warning. Frank is who this video is trying to reach before he becomes another Margaret. 4 people, different pills, different cities, different fiber sources. One shared mistake made every single morning at the kitchen table. So let me give you exactly what to do about it, in order, starting tomorrow. Here is exactly what to do, in order, and the first one is the whole game. Number 1. Separate the pill from the fiber by 60 minutes. This is the single most important change, and it is free. The general guidance for these sensitive medications, and specifically for levothyroxine, is to take the pill on an empty stomach with plain water, and then wait before you eat. For the thyroid pill, the common recommendation you will see on trusted drug information sources like Medline Plus and the Mayo Clinic is to take it in the morning on an empty stomach, 30 to 60 minutes before breakfast, with a full glass of water and nothing else. So the practical rule is this. When your feet hit the floor, take your thyroid pill with plain water. Then go make the coffee, feed the dog, get dressed, read the paper. By the time you sit down to your oatmeal 30 to 60 minutes later, the pill has already had its head start into your bloodstream, and the fiber and coffee can no longer catch it. Same pill, same oatmeal, completely different result because of the gap in between. Number 2. Know which of your pills are the sensitive ones, because not every medication cares about this. Pull out your bottles this morning and physically read the label and the paper insert. You are looking for 2 kinds of language. First, look for any instruction that says, take on an empty stomach, or take 1 hour before or 2 hours after food. That instruction is not a suggestion. It is a chemistry warning, and it is your signal that fiber and coffee matter for that drug. Second, know the usual suspects. The thyroid pill, levothyroxine, is the classic one. Iron supplements are another, because of that phytate and fiber blocking effect. And certain other minerals and drugs behave the same way. If you are not sure whether one of your pills is fiber sensitive, that is not a guess to make alone. That is question 1 for your pharmacist, and we will get to how to ask. Number 3. Give iron and minerals their own quiet window and add one helper. If you take iron, take it away from your high-fiber meal, the same way you separate the thyroid pill. And here is the small bonus most people never hear. Iron is absorbed better in the presence of vitamin C. So a common approach is to take iron with a little plain water, and, if your doctor agrees it is right for you, a source of vitamin C, well apart from your bran cereal or oatmeal or fiber supplement. The bran is the enemy of the iron pill. Keep them in separate corners of the morning. But please, do not start or stop any supplement on your own based on a video. This is the kind of decision you confirm with your doctor or pharmacist, because iron in particular can be harmful in the wrong amount. Number 4. Watch for the trap that fools your blood tests, because this is the one that costs you. Here is the sequence that quietly harmed Margaret. She took the pill with fiber, so less of it got absorbed. Her blood test then showed she needed more, so her dose was raised. But she never fixed the timing, so the higher dose was still being partly blocked, and the cycle repeated. Now here is the danger nobody warns you about. Suppose Margaret finally learns the 60-minute rule and starts taking her pill correctly on an empty stomach. Suddenly, her body starts absorbing the full, higher dose that was set while she was still blocking part of it. That can tip her from too little into too much, which brings its own problems like a racing heart, anxiety, and trouble sleeping. So this is the specific point to raise. If you have been taking a sensitive pill with breakfast and you are about to start doing it correctly, tell your doctor before you change your routine so they can recheck your levels and adjust the dose to match how your body actually absorbs it now. Do not quietly fix the timing and say nothing. The fix is powerful enough that it can change how much drug you are truly getting, and your doctor needs to know. Number 5. Do not solve this by giving up fiber. I want to be very clear, because it would be easy to walk away from this thinking oatmeal is the villain. It is not. Soluble fiber from oats and barley is genuinely good for you. Pectin, another soluble fiber, has been described in the research for delaying stomach emptying and helping lower glucose, insulin, and cholesterol. Rolled oats supply that beta-glucan tied to lower cholesterol. Fiber is one of the best things on your breakfast table for your heart, your blood sugar, and your gut. The answer is never less fiber. The answer is better timing. Keep every bit of the oatmeal. Just do not let it share the same 20 minutes as your sensitive pill. Separation, not subtraction. That is the whole philosophy. Now let me give you the advanced move, the one that even careful patients almost never think to use, because it turns you from a passive patient into an informed one. Ask your pharmacist for a full brown bag review. Here is what that means and why it is so powerful. You take every single bottle you own, prescription and over-the-counter, every supplement, every vitamin, and you literally put them in a bag and bring them to your pharmacist. Then you ask one specific question. Which of these should be separated from food, from fiber, and from each other, and what is the exact timing? Your pharmacist is a medication expert who is often far less rushed than your doctor, and this review is frequently free. In 15 minutes, they can sort your entire morning into a timing schedule. Take this one on an empty stomach at 6:30. Wait an hour. Take these with breakfast at 7:30. Keep the iron away from the calcium. Most older adults have never had anyone look at all their pills together at once and map out the timing, and it is the single highest value 15 minutes in medicine that almost nobody uses. Now, one caution. This does not replace your doctor, and it does not mean you change anything on the spot. It means you leave with a written timing plan and a short list of things to confirm at your next appointment. If your regimen is complex, that written plan is worth more than any supplement on the shelf. Before you go, let me give you the exact questions to carry into your next appointment, so this actually gets checked for you. Write these down or keep them on your phone. Question 1. Are any of my current medications sensitive to food or fiber for absorption? And if so, exactly how long should I wait between the pill and breakfast? Question 2. I take my pills with oatmeal or coffee or a fiber supplement in the morning. Could that be affecting my blood test results? Question 3. If I start taking my pill correctly on an empty stomach, could that change how much I am absorbing, enough to need a dose recheck? Those 3 questions, asked plainly, will do more for you than an hour of searching on your own, because they put the specific mechanism in front of the one person who can act on it. If you take one thing from the last 20 minutes, take this. The pill is not the problem. The timing is the problem. Margaret spent 3 years and 3 dose increases believing her body was failing, when the real story was a bowl of oatmeal and a cup of coffee quietly intercepting her medicine every morning at the kitchen table. The fix cost her nothing. She started taking her thyroid pill with plain water when she woke up, waited an hour, and only then had her breakfast. Within a couple of months, and with her doctor rechecking her levels, her numbers finally steadied, and so did she. She started hosting Sunday dinner again. Nothing about her thyroid had changed. Only the 60 minutes had changed. Remember, this is educational information, not medical advice for your particular situation. And every one of these changes is something to confirm with your own doctor or pharmacist before you act, because your dose and your body are yours alone. But the mechanism is real, it is documented, and it is fixable. And now you know it in a way your rushed appointment never had time to explain. If this helped you understand something no one had bothered to tell you, do me a favor and hit the like button, because it helps this reach one more person who is quietly raising their dose for no reason. And subscribe so you are here for the next one, where I walk through the everyday supplements that should never be taken together in the same hour. Now go check your pill bottles, and then go enjoy your oatmeal. Just not at the same minute.